added right here is a beat button, so I can pretend like.
And she lied too. So you gotta make sure.
Yeah, I'm already live.
Be careful what
So
you say.
be kind.
Yeah, that's right. I had to go in and
Be careful. Watch your mouth. Watch your mouth. Watch your mouth, and you're in my house. You're in my house. We're safe here.
Just.
Blake, would you sit that over there on the computer, the little computer that's next to the candle? For
I
me?
had to let him know because he was.
Yes.
Hello, saints of God.
Even ready to bless.
I need this one. This one cold. Blake, Champ, you gonna bring us in?
Blake got this time.
Blake did it. You haven't done it.
You the only one that haven't done it. Marcus did.
Okay.
Gold tooth.
What's up, cuzos? Welcome to the Family Podcast. I'm Champ.
D. Lamar.
Blake.
And we got our special guest here with us today, Auntie Leslie. Yeah.
So, Auntie Leslie, what have you been up to?
I have been just laying before the Lord at Disney.
When you
That's what I've been doing. That's what I've been doing.
dream.
And being still. And asking God, what is next? What am I supposed to be doing?
What am I saying?
Right.
That's the truth.
No, that's what I want to know. What am I supposed to be doing? Because it seems like what I'm doing not working.
Come on, tell me what I'm supposed to be doing.
You gotta have patience.
Huh?
You gotta have patience. You just gotta keep on going on.
What do you do when you've had patience? Have some more patience?
Patience has no.
Has no time limit?
You know how patient God has to be in order for all of us.
But
Like,
from the
but you
beginning,
can't compare me to
He's
God
God,
because
though.
he's
But he
yes,
wants
God.
you to be more like you. There's supposed to be a God inside of you.
Yeah.
You
but
are
he-
God with a little tiny G.
But he's God though.
Yes, but he is within you. Jesus was here to be in
He started already.
No. Jesus was supposed to be is an example of what we can do. Now, of course, we can't be as perfect as he was.
Right.
But he literally created him to be man because he had the same temptations. If there was Instagram back there, I'm pretty sure he would have had some wild DMs. Oh, you out here doing miracles? Let me bless you real quick. But no.
But his thought process wasn't like ours.
So that means change your thought process.
But he was God.
But
I get what
he
you're saying.
was man though.
But he was still God.
But he had to become man though. He still had the fleshly things that he had to deal with.
But he was still God.
You think he didn't see a woman like Delilah that was bringing it back? They was doing some dances back then.
Lord have mercy.
Hold on, Blake. What's the dance?
The
What
dances?
name these dances they was doing back then?
Belly dances.
Yeah, they did.
You think nobody? You think strippers just was like it happened in Atlanta and it was like Magic City like a few years ago? No. They had belly dancers. But yet, don't be. I don't even know what.
We're not about to get started.
Anyway, yeah.
We not about to get started.
Okay, we
with
got Auntie Leslie with us tonight, y'all.
So I told we supposed to have some questions. So who want to start with their questions?
Oh, so y'all didn't give me any questions? Oh, the questions are
No,
for me.
the questions are for you.
Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. Okay.
I can start with mine too because mine's simple. So the first one I wrote is, when did you fall in love with Disney and what made you fall in love with Disney?
Oh, Lord. Okay, first of all, people feel like I really love Disney. I am careful about.
You do.
You've been here 5 times this year.
I'm careful about using the word love.
Okay,
I really like Disney. Yes, I do. Why did I start liking Disney? Well, when we were younger, mother used to clean the house for this lady named Miss Dozier. And Miss Dozier gave Mother this album, and it was a Snow White album. And Miss Dozier told me that this was a place that you can go, where it's a magical place where all dreams come true. And since I was like 7 or 8, and I would play that album, that Snow White album, I just always dreamed of going to Disney and how amazing it would be. And as a child, and people think children don't have things going on in their lives and things that they get sad about. But as a child, that Disney album brought so much joy to me. It would take me out of whatever it was that wasn't a happy moment for me. It would always take me out. So Disney to me is a reset. And when y'all start getting on my nerves, I go to Disney.
Wait,
I look up.
wait a minute.
I'm like, what Auntie Leslie? She's posting a picture. I'm like, Auntie Leslie is in Florida and Disney World.
She's capping. Talking about she doesn't love it. Here's the thing. If
Did you say she's capping?
She's capping because if no one looks at me, if the woman I love doesn't look at me the way she looks when she's booking her Disney ticket,
That's not love.
That's not
Ooh, that's hilarious.
So that's what made me, because it was that lady sowed that seed and gave me that album, or gave us that album, and I used to play it all the time. And
It's nothing like Disney music though. Disney music is anointed.
Mm-hmm.
You hear, you be like, oh.
Yeah.
It's I don't know. I think Auntie Leslie and Uncle Jay put that in us because when I walk into the park, it's just like I'm home. Mm-hmm. I love Disney World. Blake don't like going. Blake be like, can we go somewhere else this year for the family vacation?
I'm tired of Magic Kingdom. But
That's why
Animal
you go to
Kingdom,
Animal Kingdom.
I can sort of deal with it. I want to go to the Epcot. I want to go to Hollywood.
But don't nobody say you can't go though.
Yes, but everybody be just like, oh, let's go to Magic Kingdom. I don't want to go by
The
myself.
only reason we went to Magic Kingdom this time is because Riley this is her first
that was y'all excuse for the past 3 times.
No, this is Riley's first real time being there.
We're not going back and forth tonight. We are going to talk to Auntie Leslie.
Really?
Are
First
you
of all, who
feeling
made
better?
you the
Are you
adult?
feeling better from falling? That's what we need to see.
Right.
Oh, so
Are you
I
okay?
saw that.
Move on.
I should have brought my.
I saw the video.
I should have brought
I
my
saw the
trophy
video.
because I won.
Somebody stopped me in church today talking about that race was funny. I was like, yep, champ failed. I was like, he said you was weak. I was like,
They're
yes,
going to call
I
me
was.
talk about something. Were you trying to swim?
Really?
Mm-hmm.
It didn't look like it all.
It looked like you was trying to dive into water
Let me
that did not
tell you,
exist.
I'm a lot
no
better,
more.
though.
Yeah, because
Because, boy, Monday, I couldn't walk.
you were hurt.
Oh, champ, really?
I was hurting bad.
Oh, Lord.
We fall.
when
That's
you-
why y'all just stay in y'all place and walk and don't run.
when you get over 40, you can't do stuff like that.
But listen, you got to be careful next time because we're doing the rematch because I was not in the right attire.
Blake,
That's fine.
you gave up on the first. Anyway, next question for Auntie Leslie.
Okay. Well, would you go back and work for Disney World if they come to you and with the right contract?
I don't know. Because we were saying earlier, God, what am I supposed to be doing? I don't know.
I got you.
I don't know if that is something that is for me in the future. I don't know. I am open to anything at this point. Wherever the Lord allows me to go, I'm open to it.
Cool.
I really I did enjoy working there, but like with any job, it has its ups and downs. And one day I will tell why I left.
Got you. We'll leave it at that.
Right. My next question will be, how does it feel to be one of the main voices internationally? When you think about the song that you did for Church of God in Christ,
Okay.
you have the voice that is the international song for the biggest church in the world. Like, how did that feel? Like, how did that come about? Did they just come to you and say, "Hey, we're gonna pick you for this song," or what happened?
Well, first of all, the voice for the church. I don't know about all that, but that song was really a really good song. We had been learning that song because Dr. McAllister had decided that we would record every day. So that recording was not just one day. Every time we got up to sing, pretty much we were recording a song throughout the whole week.
Wow.
And we had been learning Glorious, and I didn't know who was leading it. I didn't know that I was considered to lead it until I think that Friday, and we were doing it that Saturday.
Wow.
That Sunday. And when she said, "You're going to do the song," and they took me over it. Marquita took me over it. Dr. McAllister took me over the song. I did not know the words by memory. So if you look at the video, you will see, if I look down, I'm looking at words.
Wow.
How does it feel? It feels good because I've been a part of this church since I was born in it. And I've been in the choir, the C.H. Mason choir. I've had a white smock surplice since I was 12.
Is that the one that stopped right here?
Yes.
I think I had one of those.
And mine had Kojic on the front.
Oh, so you was
Wow.
official.
Yeah, I was official.
Yeah.
So I've been in that choir all my life, and to actually be, because what you should understand and remember is that there are so many amazing singers in our church.
Right.
So to have an opportunity to sing for our convocation on Sunday in that moment, and God blessed us, and just it's like He just rested on us in that moment. It was beautiful, and plus, I have always admired Dr. Judith McAllister.
Wow.
Even before she became our national president, when I was a praise and worship leader at Powerhouse, we did a whole weekend workshop, and at least an hour of that was dedicated to a video that she put out about praise and worship, and we watched it, and we built the praise and worship pretty much was built at Powerhouse from what I had learned from her. So to be able to sing with her, and she directed the song and I was singing it, that was a high for me in and of itself, because I respect her as not just as at that time she was the minister of music for the National Church, but what she did, period.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, you did a great job.
Thank you.
Marvelous.
And they call me Glorious. People don't know my name. And when I'm in convocation, and they be like, Glorious.
Okay, so
At first, I would be like, my name is Leslie, but no need of telling them.
People do that to
Because
me.
it doesn't matter. My name is Glorious.
I came up with that shout. I used to walk through the convocation. They was like, "Oh, that's
Yeah.
yeah." I guess that's what they named me. So
Da-da-da-da.
I want to ask you, because I remember you saying that a lot of people didn't even know you were a Pace sister. They just thought your
They
last
didn't.
name was Pace.
I was working with. It is so crazy because I had been working with this particular group in our church, and they were kind of the upper group of our church making these decisions, and I was coming in as a scribe at that time because I was working with Dr. Howard, and they didn't know I was a Pace sister until Mother passed, and they saw me, and the guy that told me, he said, I was saying, oh, Leslie's getting ready to sing, bringing the Pace family in. And he said, it hit me, Leslie Pace family. And he called me and said, please tell me that you are not a Pace sister and you haven't told me this all this time. And I was like, what am I supposed to do, come in meetings? Ta-da, I'm Leslie Pace.
Auntie Nisa did that.
The
Pace sisters.
She did that at Disney.
That was funny.
She did that at Disney because one of the girls that was doing the show is my friend. Ooh. She said, Leslie, your sister just rolled by here, hit a riff during my show.
Yep.
And said,
man.
Pace sisters.
And rolled off.
And rolled off with the lean. She was like,
She was gone in that on that car. That thing was funny.
It felt
boy.
really good. That felt good because it was just like a moment of, I've been in this choir for 40 years.
And now I got
And this is my song.
wow.
Oh, glory.
Hey, can't nobody sing it, but you might have said it, but I'm saying it. I won't hear nobody else lead it. If I tell you it's not there, we gotta pick another song.
Yeah.
Nobody else can lead it.
Yeah, that's true.
Just don't do it.
Just don't do it.
it.
Like, last night, okay, we're gonna do something else. Your questions? I forgot you
Go back
overslept.
to
So
Disney.
did you?
Right, yeah,
You
because-
forgot.
yeah.
Right.
This is a Disney
First of
hour.
all,
Go ahead.
First of all, you're not gonna just air me out on this.
Because this came from Disney.
It came from Disney Springs. I think
It's the
Disney
same
Walk.
thing.
Disney.
Disney Springs.
It's called Chapel Hats. Okay.
In Disney
In
Springs.
Disney.
Okay.
Springs.
Questions?
Okay. Anyways, we're gonna go back to Disney. Would you have, if you were in the same shoes, would you have given Beast a chance? From Beauty and the Beast.
Would I have what?
Giving
Beast a chance. From Beauty and the Beast.
If I was Beauty,
If he was Belle
if I was Belle,
in the same position,
in the
in
same.
modern position.
No, Blake.
You see a giant. You literally see. Like, I just want to speak on this. I just want to speak on this. 'Cause I was always confused. How does one fall in love with a giant beast? I just like. What do you think that's a good? That's a good.
People do it every day.
People have. I mean, that's he was just okay. Of course, it's
Yeah,
not
shut
real, but his everything represent what a lot of people are, and they got beautiful faces, but on the inside they are beasts, and people are falling in love with them. They live with them. They take all of this junk from them, and they are beasts. So, it had nothing to do with, she saw, according to that fable, she saw what was in him. She looked beyond his outer appearance, and she knew that she felt like she could bring that out of him. But that's a catch-22, if you will, because a lot of women get in relationships thinking they can change a man, and,
Listen, this is
You
not
can't
Beauty and the
change
Beast. If he's a beast, then he's just a beast, baby. You can't. Y'all got to stop doing this. So that's how you like. Do you feel like you can change a beast into? Can you,
at my
change it?
age, I'm not trying to change anybody.
Yeah,
exactly.
Because if you're not what I need when I approach you or when you approach me, I already know. I don't have to go and talk to you. I already know from looking at you, you're not it.
I need a bingo button. Bingo.
I did this. I just listen. That's ministry right there. Anyway,
That's
I
a
never
message.
seen
Because
that.
I mean, if I was 20, I would probably be trying to take chances. But child, please.
Yeah,
Not
it's too
now.
late-
I
too
have
late
no.
in the
I
game
don't
for
have
that.
time to waste with anybody's.
But that's something to think about, though. If you were 20 at this time, you still need to
I'm 24. I'm
the
not.
mentality that you have now.
Well, yeah.
Because the way life is right now,
You don't have time. You
Yeah,
don't have time to be like,
time.
oh, no.
That's true.
No.
I do. So I put a status up on Facebook the other day. I had a series of questions, and so I said, "Well, we'll talk about that with Auntie Leslie." So one of my questions was, "Can you in church get what you need from God within an hour and a half, or what do you feel about the services going for 4 hours?" And then so I'm gonna let you answer that. I'm gonna pull the questions up so I can remember the questions. But
What's the question?
So about so do you think church need to be long, or can it be?
Do we need a long service in order for it to be effective?
In order for you to in order for it to be effective, or can
Get
you
your
have an
question.
effective?
I want you to get your question.
Can you have an effective service within a short
Within an hour
and a half?
Okay. So let's do this.
And I'm gonna pull up the other one.
Okay. So let me say this.
Mm-hmm.
In the name of Jesus, I want you to start counting from 1 to 10. Blake,
Count.
go.
1.
In the name of Jesus,
2,
rise up
3,
and walk.
4.
How long? Well, 3 seconds.
3.
So my answer is, the service as being long is not for Jesus. It's for man. Man take up all the time because most of the time we have things that we feel like we need to go through in order to get what we need, when God is ready. He's ready. So, he's sitting on the side. Can you imagine him sitting on the side? Wait, saying, okay, I'll be glad when they get through all of this. And then sometimes he never gets there. He never get a chance to do what he intended to do for the people that day, because we had so many things
Because you got a program
on our agenda. We got a program.
We got to stick to the program.
Go ahead, Blake.
So here's the thing, y'all. A lot of people be treating church as a club, and I'm gonna explain this now. I'm gonna explain how. Now, y'all might not be. Some of y'all are coming with the short dresses. Shame on you. I understand. But some of y'all put on your church outfits. Because when you finna go to the club, you want to put on your nice outfit, right? So you go to church, you put on the nicest outfit. But that's fine. That's cool. You come to dance at the club, and you just want to dance at church, and you really not giving God glory. You just want to show off your outfit. Some of you. I'm not saying all of you. And then you want to dance for 1 hour. Listen, as a musician, I can only play a few shouts. And you've been shouting for 2 hours. And the Holy Spirit, get the Holy Ghost. Why are we tarrying this long? Do you really want them? Why are we here for 3 hours on this altar?
So is tarrying a praise break, or is it on the altar?
Now, here, the tarrying is when they're just rolling around on the floor. And
Is that tarrying, though?
What?
What does it mean to tarry?
I don't know. To be there for an hour. That's all. For 4 hours.
No.
That's what I know.
Blake.
That's from what I've experienced. It's tarrying means
Give
to be
me
there
my
for
phone.
hours.
Let me look it up, Blake. Oh, there. I'm
You can look it up, right?
I need that. Give me that anyway.
No, you can.
To tarry means to wait, and in the Bible, it means to wait on God.
Right.
And to wait on God and wait on Him to do what you need Him to do. Mm-hmm. But I don't think that. I don't think that. Let me turn this up. I'm sorry, I'm being rude.
No, you good.
Oh, you're good.
Okay. So, to tarry means to wait. So all of that rolling on the floor is not waiting on God. That is something that we've labeled as tarrying. Even coming to the altar call in Jesus, we've labeled that as a tarrying service because you're waiting on God. But waiting on God is so much more than 45 minutes at an altar or a 20-minute dance or just rolling. Waiting on God is a position of your spirit. Of your soul, because he told them to tarry in Jerusalem, and that was more than an hour. They were there for some days waiting. So, church, the extended version of church is just too much. It's too much flesh.
And they wasn't in the upper room sitting around saying Jesus, 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 saying as fast as they could. Mm-mm. That wasn't in my Bible, at least.
No.
Who? Okay, and I also heard like people were fasting, and they said. Like people weren't brushing their teeth. Now here's the thing.
Because
that's not better. Because they're fasting. They say you're not supposed to brush your teeth when fasting. That's not better. That's not better because I feel like since I think Phyllis Pace has destroyed that you should brush your teeth.
Maybe don't eat. He was in the room with her. That's why he could tell her that.
Okay, but when you're fasting, it's supposed to be like a close encounter with the Holy Spirit. And the thing is, y'all not staying at home when y'all fasting. Y'all going out into the public without brushed teeth. But y'all talking about, oh, I'm fasting. I no water, no this. I can't brush my teeth. Yes. You
That's
must brush your
dirty.
teeth.
You dirty.
Yeah.
Because the Bible says cleanliness is doing. They don't say that.
They don't even say that in the Bible.
I know.
Where did they get that from?
That's another
they
thing.
just trying
A lot
to
of
get the pastors to
these
take a shower?
scriptures that people quote that's not there.
Yeah,
Anyway,
that stuff
the
ain't
question
in the
2 I
Bible.
posed was, do you feel like
Yeah.
church was good if the pastor or the preacher didn't hoop?
Okay, so it depends on what I'm coming to church for. If I'm coming to church, I don't have any specific goal. And I'm gonna be honest. If I don't have any specific goals, like, oh God, I need a word from you. Well, usually I don't go to church saying, oh God, I need a word from you.
Because you got your word before you got there.
Yeah, because when you come to church with a whole bunch of people, there are so many distractions, and it's so easily not to get what God has for you. So your question to me is what now?
So I was asking people, do you feel like church wasn't good if the pastor didn't hoop?
Because my pastor doesn't hoop.
Right.
And I love our worship experience. I love it. My pastor does not hoop. I have an appreciation for people that hoop, but sometimes when people are hooping, I can't understand.
You don't get what it. That's what a lot of people are saying. They rather hear what the message is talking about.
Yeah, I don't understand what they're saying.
All right.
And if
so
y'all have
another one
asthma,
is-
stop hooping. I just give me one second. Nobody understands in between your breaths. And the Lord, He's doing what? No.
that heavy.
No. Back up from the mic. Stop getting right here to the mic.
Because somebody else has to
We can
use
hear
that
you
mic.
right here. It's fine. But right here, nobody understands that. I don't know what the Lord just said. I'm ready to go home
Well,
because
first
I'm
of all,
hungry.
the Lord didn't say it. Anyway, question 3 was, do you feel like church wasn't good if you didn't have a praise break? Because a lot of people, they go to church and they can't tell you nothing the pastor preached, but they feel like church was good because he hooped and tuned up, and the band was killing the day during their praise break.
Okay, so Blake talked about the church being a club. Don't y'all using the church as a club? Mm-hmm. But what do you go to the club to do? What are some of the things? To dance, to feel good,
Right.
to be in. Some people even go to be inspired.
Right.
Right.
So you go to church to feel good,
To dance.
to be inspired, and to dance.
Right.
I think that it depends on what I said, what I'm going for. If I'm going to get a dance and we don't have a dance, I'm like, man,
I want to dance.
it was
today.
okay, but it could have been better because I wanted to dance today. Because I'm not coming to church saying I'm not going to dance, or I'm not. If I'm coming to church, if I'm going to dance, it's already in my mind. Oh, we dancing today.
we dancing today.
I need to dance today.
I agree with that because Champ done sent me a text several times. As soon as you hit that guitar click track,
Yeah, like, dude, hit the guitar. It's on.
Because praising God through dance is not. It is spiritual, but it is a conscious decision. And you make it. I'm gonna dance. I'm getting ready to go and I'm getting ready to do this right here, and I need this space right here.
that's true. It's something that you actively get up and do. Nothing that's just God don't just like okay.
Right.
All right, so I guess you kind of went into that one. So the last question I asked them was, would you attend a church that doesn't have a modern look with like the lights, LED screens, fog machines, and all that kind of stuff? Because I know a lot of people.
When did fog machines get here?
Have you been to my church?
No, I'm just, a lot of people wanted to ask you, but I know like because we ain't got none of that. But a lot of people now, they don't want to go to a church that might look like our church because they feel like it's old and traditional. They want, if you ain't got the lights off and the LED screens with the words and stuff jumping and the smoke, they feel like it's not 2021 church to them.
I don't think I could do it because every time I've been to one of them, I leave with a cold because the smoke. It's a sinus infection. So, like, just give me a regular church.
I can't.
Turn the lights on.
I can't.
Now I got a sinus infection because
Right.
y'all want to be hip.
Just give me
Y'all
a
want to be
regular church.
current.
Turn the lights on, please.
Well, my church, my home church is not like that, but I can get with or without it. Once again, if it's what I'm looking for, it doesn't matter what the building looks like. I don't need aesthetics. I can go to Disney for that.
Right.
But when it comes to the house of God, I don't care, because actually, you know, if you have all the elements that I need, and I'm not talking about lights, but just, you know, the music, the preacher, the people with the mind to worship and to get something out of the service. I don't care if you have a blue light or a white light. I just want to, if I'm coming for that, and I'm not coming for your staging. If I want staging, I'll go see a show.
Right. That's good.
So basically, it all boils down to having a relationship with him personally, one-on-one relationship. Because if, like you said, we're not going to hear the preacher hoop, not going to get a word actually, because if you got a relationship with him, he's giving you your word at home before you get there.
If you let him talk to you.
If you let him talk
but
to
most
you.
of these people don't let him talk to you. That's why the churches are so filled.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Because they don't have a relationship with God, or they don't trust what they hear. They think I'm just telling myself. No, if you have the Holy Ghost and you develop that relationship with God, he will tell you things, and he will grow that relationship to the point that if the pastor is saying something to you, it's only confirmation,
It's confirmation.
of what God has already spoken to you.
Exactly.
Because
But
the
so
pastor
many
leaving
of us are
tired.
we're still shallow. And I was looking at that. Our worship services are so superficial. They're just on the surface. Most of them are not deep. So people that are superficial, they need the light.
They need the lights.
Wow.
Because their relationship with God is based on the light.
On the lights. And the sinus infection.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's based. Yeah, that's good.
Wow. Yeah, that's real good.
That's how some of these people married. It's a superficial thing. That's why I don't last longer than about 5 years, because you are in a superficial relationship. You're not going deep. You know, every time you turn around,
Lord.
y'all got to go and revive your relationship. Revive it for what?
Wow.
What are you reviving?
You gotta go deeper.
It's a constant. I don't know. I don't get it. I think I'm too old for this world.
I think I am too. I feel like I'm 24, but I have an like an older kind of.
No, you really do, Blake. I was telling D, I was like, Blake is really old, bruh. Like some of the
And
things
I
that you
hate it.
say,
I
and
hate-
Why?
Because I'm surrounded with people that don't think how I think.
Let me ask you this: you ever thought about dating somebody older than you?
Here's the thing. I've thought about that, but the thing is, again, at a certain age, they expect, which as you should expect something out of the person you're dating.
Right.
If I start talking to somebody older, let's say 30 maybe.
hold on, how old are you?
I'm 24.
Oh, okay.
I'm about to be 25 this year, my boy. So it'll only be 5 years away.
Okay.
So if you talk
Because the
about
lowest I'm going is 20.
30,
So that's 5 years down. For me.
35.
This one girl tried to hit me up at 19, and I just like in the one conversation, I was like, no, never again.
I can't see you with anybody under
Younger.
25.
Yeah, that's.
But it's like it's certain, like I have to uphold whatever standard it needs to be for whatever age she's at. Because like let's say at age whatever age she is, you need to have
I'm
your stuff
54.
together. She's 54.
Right.
You need to have your stuff together. Now, of course, some people still getting their stuff together at 30, I guess. I don't know. But I'm at 24 and I talked to somebody at 30 and she got her stuff more together. It's gonna be almost unequally yoked.
So what is
So check
more
this
together?
out. What if, okay,
Oh, my
54.
bad. Go ahead.
So what if a 32-year-old come?
No, thank you.
No. Got himself together.
Got himself together. Got the money.
Got everything together.
has
I'm
the
talking
money.
about everything's right. Got
He's
the
not
money.
superficial.
I'm talking about gonna take care of you. I mean, you
No
gonna be
skinny
straight.
jeans
You don't
in
got to
his
do nothing.
closet.
You don't have. You know what I'm saying? And so, you know how the old school. And God come in and say, "Hey, this is what I want you
The
to do."
Lord is not going to do that.
Why not?
So let me go back. I'm so sick of church trying to manipulate people in the name of Jesus.
Don't bring
That is not God. God is not, because first of all, God made me.
Right.
And
He
know what you
knows
want.
me.
That's
Exactly.
what I
He ain't
wanted
finna
to
bring
go
He is
to.
not
I want
getting
to
ready
see.
to saddle me with something that he know is going to debilitate just
Exactly.
debilitate me every day of the month. No, I am not, because you're 32. By the time you just say he's 34, just give him an even 20 years younger than me. By the time when I hit 64, he's just turning 44.
Right.
My body is different from his.
Right.
He's ready to go ride a roller coaster. I'm ready to go get on a yacht somewhere and lay back for 30 days.
Right.
My whole mentality, and that's how I know I can't do it, champ, because my mentality from when I was 30 to where I am now, 54, is totally different.
Totally different.
That you can't. I mean,
That's what I want. That's what I wanted
part.
to come. That's what I wanted to hear. This part, because people don't talk about that. Like, I get it, but like 34, 54, and then you said when you turn 74, what he'll be. It's two different.
He'll be 44.
It's two different.
54. He'll be 54.
Two different situations. Like,
I'm not.
It's two different
How
lives.
does that-
Two different. My health. I mean, I'm working on it, but my health still is going to be different. My health is different now than it was 20 years ago.
Exactly.
And I don't. And just like I don't want him to have to deal with what I'm dealing with. Let him have somebody his age, somebody that's young, that is ready to run with him.
compatible. with you.
Yeah, that can go and do whatever he wants to do, because I'm not that person. That's how I know it would probably be very difficult for me. It is almost a 99.999% chance I'm not going to get married, because I really do like going to Disney. And I know a man my age
Ain't gonna
not
want to do
going
that
to
all the
Disney.
time. He ain't gonna want to do it.
And then we're going to be divorced, and I'm going to be sitting up under the,
Cause he gonna be like, "Why
on
you
the teacups at
You
Disney.
going again?
You said the
Yeah.
teacup?
You going to church again?
But that again comes back to when I think it was like one of the first episodes. If you love that person, even if that's not something that you particularly like to do all the time, just to see the smile when she walks into Disney World, that should be gift enough. And of course,
that's
it's not like it's the worst thing ever. You got some churros out here. You can sit down and eat some churros. You can get some ice cream or something. It ain't the worst thing. It's not like, oh, I want to go to hell. I love going to hell. It's Disney World.
I think she's just saying like that at this point, the it got to be the same across the board as far as like, you know.
I understand that.
Yeah, like
and that's
ain't
where
no.
I am right
I
now
don't
because I'm
have a
42
mentality.
in the brain.
I don't. I had it when I was younger. I don't have it now.
I feel you on that.
Everybody got time for it.
I don't. That's why I tell people, you get married while you're young. There are people that get married at my age, but for me, I just don't have the strength. I don't.
Some of y'all getting married a little too young.
Why do you think church people emphasize or push for people to get married
that's their
so
prophet.
much? Like,
What it say in the Bible? Don't get married. Real prophet. This is a real
I'm
prophet.
just saying, like church people, they I feel like people force some people to get married. Oh, that's
Yeah.
your husband. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
like
And you know good and well you was lying.
That's interesting
And
because
really,
I was
you should have just been, y'all supposed to been friends.
just friends, and you've messed up a relationship.
Why
trying
can't
to-
we be
now we married.
friends?
now we married.
Now we got to
We
fake
be
it at
friends.
every convention.
Now you got a kid in the mix.
So how
Then they
long
got
does
children in the mix.
how long does the faking last?
People fake for years.
Yeah.
People can fake
Especially
for
if
a
they got
while.
kids involved. I knew these people that they stayed married only because they had kids. When as soon as all the kids graduated, they got divorced. And the children was like, what? They was like, we've never been happy, but we didn't want y'all to grow up in a broken home. So that was their excuse to stay together.
Wasn't it already?
It was already broken
broke.
because y'all didn't love each other.
I love it. So
Yeah, it was already broken.
Wow.
it's crazy,
I'm tired
man.
of this church.
Yeah. This been good.
Yeah, because people don't talk about it. That's why they like this podcast, because we talk about real.
But Auntie Leslie came right out of what I was thinking though, man. Because that's why I put that thing in there like, what if God say, God ain't said that, bruh. 32?
Ooh,
Come
that
on. I
got-
just don't.
Oh, I got a question.
Go ahead. How you had the question? How was the question?
Because I thought about something. I want to hear what she's saying. You know, it's lesbian, keeping it real. People, okay. I'm just gonna say me. I'm just gonna use that as an example. I've been waiting on certain prophecies to come to pass, right? I see you already know. Because people said God said he was gonna do it.
He never
But you
said
live
it.
your life waiting on something that God might not have said.
What's your question?
So
I hear your statement, but what's the question?
What's your advice to that? Like people, like, because I know me, I've gotten prophecies. I'm like, okay, but God said he gonna have it. Then it hit me. I was like, okay, did God really say that?
Nope.
I was watching and I know people are going to say she's judging, whatever. I was watching this church, and it was aggravating me. But the Spirit of the Lord kept saying to me, "Watch it." And I was like, I don't want to watch it. This is a bunch of sounding brass and tinkling cymbal. I mean, the evangelist was just screaming and running here. It looked like I was at Disney and somebody was giving a real show, and it was just irking me. And how can I say that? Because we know the Spirit of the Lord when we see it, when we feel it, and it was not there. He was not there. And it was bothering me, and the Lord kept saying, keep watching. And when they panned the audience, he said to me, you see these people? They are really here to get something from me. But because the person that is up in the name of a prophet don't have the relationship with me, they are not a conduit for my word or my works, so I can't give them anything. And I said, okay, well, I just let it go. And it was not long, I promise you, about 4 days later, that particular pastor in another city called another friend of mine. We had a mutual friend, and said something horrific was going on at in that place,
right?
And that lady and that man never ministered to what was actually happening. Instead, they told them, you're going to get this, you're going to get that. I see you having this. I see you. I watched it. And 4 days later, God showed me and gave me the proof of what he had said to me, because when the elders of that church called my friend, she shared it with me to pray. I said, oh my God, you're not going to believe what happened. I was watching this, and the Lord told me this was what's happening. And he can't get to the people because the person that's up with the mic don't have the relationship to even give them what I have for them. Because people don't, for the average Christian, don't have that relationship. They don't trust, like I said earlier, their relationship with God. They don't trust that God will speak to them and talk to them. That is one reason why God really does, God is depending to a degree on the preacher. But the preacher got to make sure his relationship is right, that he don't get up and give praise breaks when people need to be a breakthrough, that he don't give up and hoop when people are in need of deliverance, that their souls are tangled and tied up, and you somewhere trying to raise an offering and give a hoop and turn around and say, Doc, I preached the house. Yeah. You preached the house, but the people left sick.
Wow.
That's why a lot of people... that's why a lot of people leaving sick, because they preaching trying to get the next engagement. They preaching trying to raise the money, and the people are hurting.
That bothered me. And I asked the Lord, why did you even show me that? He said, because when you go anywhere, I don't even let your flesh even come in the pulpit.
Be on display.
Wow.
You need to be humble, because somebody or a few bodies are sitting out there because they don't have the relationship. They don't trust their relationship with me, but they trust you know me. They are trusting that you know me. And you telling me I'm getting ready to get a husband when I need somebody to help me walk through from depression.
Because I'm about to lose my mind. Wow.
But you probably
so that's why it doesn't come true, because they are not giving them the word of the Lord. They're giving them something that they think is going to make them feel good and make everybody else give an offering and let me walk up to the front and maybe they'll tell me something, tell my fortune. We're not telling fortunes here. We're saving lives, reaching lives so that Jesus can save. So I don't need a prophet. I got Jesus. I'm good.
We go.
That's why you gotta have a relationship on your own.
Got to, man.
Got to.
If you just let anybody, if you don't have a relationship and you just let anybody tell you, well, God told me to tell you this, you be like, oh, I'm gonna run with it, and God be like, I didn't say none of this.
First of all, I don't talk to them.
First of all, when he dies, I'm gonna be like, I don't know you, depart from me. So I don't even know why you even listening to him or her.
I wish this was tea, cause they say drink. Let's say.
Turn this
Lord.
That's some good truth though. If you're gonna stay in church for hours, don't leave the way you came.
Because let me tell you this. I've stayed in church for a long time before, but it didn't bother me. You know why? Because I was getting something.
Right.
One of the longest services I've ever been in was with Prophet Brown. But I looked up and I was like, Jesus, we've been here 5 hours. But it didn't really feel like that to me because that service I actually got something. It's to me when you it's just a repetitive, and you're doing this, and we got to okay, and who coming up now? All right. It's like, okay, can we go? Like, what else y'all got to do?
And I don't know
It's
if
like being on a bad date.
Wow.
Can you bring the check, please?
Please, let's go.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, but it's just like
Because
anything else you need?
I look at it like
God
it's like
didn't even show up 'cause he
when
wasn't even
you
ready.
getting prayed for. I actually like to see the person look different while they up there.
Okay.
I don't know if that's just me.
What you mean?
Like if they get like you getting prayed for and you can see that they went up there, it was something on them.
Oh, I got you.
But
And
while the person was praying for them, you seen a change in the midst. Like I mean, and it goes back to. I mean, we all know back in the day, Rehoboth, the blue and white Rehoboth.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
We danced. We hit 5-hour church.
Yeah, we had
But it was people that your dad prayed for when they went up there. They looked like drugs. They looked a mess. But when they came back to their seat, it was like, hold on.
That's not the same.
That's not the same Negro that just went up there. Like if we were gonna stay in church 5 hours, let's see a difference.
Yeah.
Because I've always wanted to experience the supernatural, like how we read about it. Like we read about it, but I want to see the legs grow out. I want to see somebody eyeball pop back in. I want to see, somebody actually get out of a wheelchair and and walk. Like,
Yeah.
like we know that that's the God that we serve.
Right.
But I don't think that the people are allowing God to demonstrate His power and let His glory really come in, because it's all about them. It's all about, like we said earlier, it's the program. That's one thing I hate. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't have a program set. That's fine. But if God decides that's not what I'm doing today, then go somewhere else with it.
Like the
But
church.
if you don't have discernment to know that God is trying to shift and go a different way, but you just got to stick to this program. Like, come on. Like, that's one thing I hate, when God is moving and somebody get up and just kill it and just to go to the next thing. I'm like, what are y'all doing?
That bothers me.
That
really bothers me.
We was in a zone. Like, don't kill it to bring up the dancers. I mean, and that's not, no slight to them. I'm just saying, like, we somewhere else. If they got to dance next week, they got to dance next week. Like I've seen that happen so many times in my church, and I've seen my dad. That's why I've seen Uncle Jay do it. I've seen my dad was like, okay, what I was getting ready to preach, we're not even getting, because God is doing something else. He'll close his book and like the service has shifted, and he go start praying, anointing, laying hands. But then I've seen that happen, and then I've seen preachers quiet down because they want to preach their sermon. I'm like, was your sermon that important that you didn't see God was moving and people were getting delivered?
Delivered and blessed, yeah.
But as soon as you start preaching, it's like, okay,
Yeah.
God gone now.
You say we want to see the supernatural. First of all, most preachers that do that, once again, it is, I'm keep saying it, they don't have a relationship with the Lord. And they only know him. They don't even know him, because I think if they knew him, they wouldn't do half the stuff that they did. And you say you want to see this, we want to see the supernatural. I was talking about this, I think, on just a live that I went on, about how the world and how Hollywood, if you will, and the filmmakers had desensitized us to the supernatural power of God. And I'm gonna say this, and that's why in Acts, the 8th chapter and the 20th verse, starting at the 20th verse, but I'm gonna go on down here, and it talks about how Philip was had baptized the eunuch, and it says in the 29th verse, and the Spirit said to Philip, go over and join this chariot. So Philip ran to him and heard him and reading and all of that, and he prayed for him and all that and baptized him. Then we go on down to the verse here that said, where is it? But Philip, here it is, the 39th verse. And when they came up out of the water, the Spirit of the Lord carried Philip away, and the eunuch saw him no more and went his way rejoicing. But Philip found himself in Azotus, a whole nother city away, in a matter of a second.
Whole nother city.
Have you ever heard anybody really preach that?
No.
Because they don't believe it.
They don't believe that God can take you physically.
But yet, and still, they shout off of, we shall be changed in the moment, in the twinkling of an eye. Same thing.
Same thing. Rapture-esque.
But we don't believe
We
it.
never heard
believe
anybody
it.
really teach that, though.
What scripture is that?
I know about the story because I read my
Read the
Bible
whole
for
story.
myself.
Acts, the 8th chapter.
But I don't-
26. Acts
And
8 EIGHT. I know I'm Southern. It's 8, and the verses 26 through 40.
I only know about this story because I've read about it for myself, but I've never heard anybody really preach on that. That's amazing.
But it's
that's
crazy.
True.
But remember, I was telling you, the girls had to sing in Florence, South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
They had to go up and want to say it was like 1 o'clock. I don't know if you remember it. We overslept. And we was in the Mexican place where they thought I was Mexican. Me, Auntie Nisa, and Marcus.
South of the
You
border.
one of us?
Massachusetts.
Mm-hmm.
We got there when it was time for the girls to sing. How many hours away were we? And Auntie Nisi said, God, I need you to move a state out the way. I remember her praying it. God,
And she had that kind of power, though.
I need you to move. I need you to move a state out the way.
Because she believed it.
Yeah, and we got there. When
Bro,
it was time.
we was in Korea. Auntie Nisi was they had left her on purpose. They left her at the hotel, and we had a
6 verse.
we had a lot of stuff going on that trip. They was really fighting us. They left her at the hotel on purpose to say, well, she overslept, she didn't come. Auntie Nisi she called a taxi cab and spoke in tongues the entire ride there. I'm sitting back there like, okay. We pulled up to the church. So the Korean lady said, how did y'all know how to get here? The taxi driver told her, she gave me the directions. She was speaking in tongues, but she was speaking Korean, telling him how to get to the church.
The scripture says that when they came up out of the upper room, each man that was visiting from another country heard the people
And they knew what
speaking
was
in
going
their
on.
own
Yep,
language.
Yep, that's what it is.
So, God is supernatural. The only reason he's not moving in the supernatural because we don't believe him.
Wow.
We believe him to give us money to pay our bills. We believe him to, take a canker sore off the side of our mouths. But we don't believe him that he can move us from one place to the other. Yet we say we're going to be changed in a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, and we're not going to be mortal. We're going to be immortal. We're going to be immortal. But, we say all of these things, but
they don't believe
do we really mean it, though?
They
Do
don't
we
believe
believe
it.
it, though?
They don't believe
They don't believe it.
But God has been challenging me to believe him for who he is. And if you want to see me as I am, then believe me for who I am. I can do all of these things. But, we've been desensitized by Marvel Comics and DC Comics, and we think that that's just comic
That's
strips.
just a fantasy. Yeah, that can't happen in real life. Where you think they got it from? They got the idea from somewhere.
I want to believe him that he would move in my life the way he did Philip. That the Holy Spirit will move in me. And not just so that people can say, oh, God moves in her. No, let's come to where they are because that's where God is. God is going to do something for us there.
I remember Grandma saying that's what people used to tell her about Rehoboth. They used to say, this is what God is. They told her when we drive up on the premises, we feel God. And Grandma said, yep, because my husband took oil and poured it all in that foundation and prayed over this property.
And that was for a season.
Yeah.
And you have to realize that when God is no longer at that mountain, because see, sometimes we try to
Hold on.
I'm sorry, something I said.
Champ.
No, I just want you to go. I just want you to.
Sometimes we think that because we start something, we have to keep it going. But when God has moved away from that mountain, then why are you still here? Because God is no longer here. My daddy built this church. My daddy didn't build that church. Somebody asked me, well, aren't you all tied? I said, I'm not tied to that. If I'm trying to be tied to something, it would be the building that the tornado took down.
And I think God sent that on purpose.
When that tornado destroyed Rehoboth, my mother was finished then. And when they would not rebuild it just like my daddy had it, my mother was finished a second time. But then not only was she finished a second time, but when God gave her the confirmation that this is it.
Yeah.
There was nothing else to be done.
Right.
And, so why stand at a mountain? Why build a monument to what was? Because you clearly see, and not just that, other places, you clearly see God is doing something else. So we've got to be open to what God is doing next. Or we're going to get caught in a desert and stay forever and never fulfill the promise or what God had intended for us to fulfill. Why would I get locked into, being a pace sister and being an anointed pace sister, think I can't sing unless it's all of us on the stage? God knew what was going to happen years ago.
Right.
And he was already moving us out, doing different things.
Yep.
You just helped me out a whole lot.
A lot of people are scared of necks.
You need some. You want to get your water? There's your water over there.
That's my coffee.
Okay.
Oh, that's my water for me right there. Could you, Champ, can you reach it? Yeah.
Wow.
And some of y'all still ain't caught it.
Yeah, that just hit me out a whole lot.
Yeah, I'm not locked into anything. My pastor, and I know I'm talking about my pastor, but the name of that church was Hensley Temple when her granddaddy built it. And they changed it to New Hope. But the Lord told her, I want you to restore it back to where it was and change the name. And he told her to stay there. And you feel the presence of the Lord. You know the difference because God comes and light that. You give the altar and he's going to light that altar with his holy fire in whatever you're doing. If that altar is not on fire, him it's not there, as the little girl said. Him it's not here.
Yep.
That's good.
That's real good. That's
Yes,
real good.
These are facts.
And that goes for not just church stuff. This goes for your life. Period.
Life.
God will let you know when it's time to. Because that's something that I'm going through now. God clearly showed like your season for that particular thing.
It's up.
That's a wrap.
It's so bad.
That's gonna.
Now that's better. Once
do
you
what
leave,
I told you to do.
Once you stop it, he gonna
What
say.
was the movie?
And don't go back.
Don't go. Listen.
That's
That-
what we mess up at. Because when we feel like, well, I was comfortable there. No, don't go back.
My pastor,
a lot of
my
people are
pastor slash
scared of
mother.
necks. They don't like the necks.
No.
Because they don't know what next
They don't
is.
know what next is.
So they scared. You're right.
My
you
mother,
talking
we was-
to me. But I'm like,
you
I
gotta move
gotta.
for next. My sister was tied in with her job, and I'm talking about Quante. Tied in, just working. The man just working like a slave. He brought somebody else in to do what she do. And then it took for her to get cussed out and want to cry. He'll cuss me out. No, leave.
Who cussed out?
No, we're not talking about it because when she got cussed out, she left. She went to her next.
Okay.
Why did you have to get cussed out to go to your next?
But yeah.
Because it's complacent. Like you're comfortable, and I'm talking about me. Like you because you don't know. You're scared. You don't know. Okay, if I do step out of here, what am I gonna do? Because so many people have manipulated you to feel like you can't do nothing without them.
You got to step out. What that live?
You have
what's
to.
that live you put? Amazon gonna drop that package off.
And deliver the goods.
They gonna deliver the goods.
And then again, you don't pray about it and stop thinking so hard about it. Because if you some things that God tell you to do, it's not gonna make sense to the natural mind. Cause you were like, God, well, if I leave, if I stop this and this is not, shh. I'm trying to make it better. I'm trying to make you say, now this is better, now that's better. But you still in this situation right here.
Right.
And I'm trying to give you gold, and you still picking up dimes and pennies. I'm trying to get you where gold is.
Wow.
Anybody that makes you feel like, or even makes statements that you can't do things outside of them, that is called what one of my dear sisters say. That's charismatic witchcraft. Because first of all, you are not God. I am breathing without you.
Wow.
I am playing these keyboards. You didn't teach me a thing.
Huh?
My gift that God gave me that I allowed to be perfected brought me here.
Wow.
So it's going to take me to my next, and I can't do it without you. Anytime when people start throwing things around like that, you need to look at them, and it doesn't matter who it is. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter who it is. Mm-hmm. Mm. Because they're trying to control you. I told this young lady today, she was telling me, oh, I'm doing this and I got to do this. And she's going to watch the podcast. She know I'm talking about. I'm not calling your name. But I got to do this and I got to do that. And I'm doing this in the ministry. I'm doing that in the ministry. But I'm going to school. I'm going to go on to school. I said, you need to be training somebody else to do whatever it is you're doing in the ministry. Mm-hmm. Because you need to go on to school. That's something you said you wanted to do. You need to go on to school. Don't get locked into something because you're helping. Everybody is so clear about what you're doing, DL, how it fits into their lives. Mm. Everybody is very clear about how your gift can make whatever they're doing to be better, Champ, and Blake. But are you clear about how what you can do can make your life better? Mm. Has God spoken to you? What you're doing may be good, but is it God?
Mm. Oh my!
Wow.
You've been in this wilderness, and a lot of us are walking around in a wilderness. We've made a 40-day journey, 40 years. Aren't you tired? I know I am.
Yes.
Don't let people lock you. I can say it because I lived it. Every time somebody tried to date me, I would be taken out to lunch. God don't want you married right now. You got ministry. That happened to me 3 times. Mm. That's what I mean when I say manipulation in the name of Jesus. And that's what drove me to develop my relationship with God, because I was like, God don't. So you mean to tell me God is only concerned about what I'm doing here in the ministry and not concerned about me when I walk out? Because I'm not living 24/7 in this church.
Right.
You don't need to go to school. You need to, God, you're going to be on the road full time. You don't need to do this. And anytime I did anything that looked like I was going to be independent, there was a word. Or their friends gave me a word.
Cap.
I'm telling you all. Don't get locked into things with people manipulating you. And then they're going to say, well, we heard that podcast and we heard what Leslie say, but Leslie ain't been there for you. Well, really, what you've done is trinkets compared to what God has for me. You all want more? Then you need to take that leap of faith. People ask me, I was 40 years old when I started working at Disney. And everybody asked me, what made you do it? Because I knew there was more for me than sitting on the stage singing Jesus Be a Fence all around me. I knew there was more. And I did more, in my opinion, when I was at Disney. I feel like I was a greater witness there than I have ever been standing on the stage, because once again, I'm not getting ready to do those calisthenics that preachers have to do in order for somebody to say you preach the house. Let me get my water.
We just talked about that, Champ.
Yeah. Yeah.
God put you in place at Walmart to help the people. Your Champ's position, everybody that comes through that store has to come through Champ, and they look up to him so much. But had he been in any other position,
Uncle Champ,
he wouldn't have. I mean, they actually do, like they look at him like
they literally be like
Uncle
Champ.
Yeah.
I'm not your Uncle Negro, but like, I don't know.
Yes, you are.
You have to be in that. You have to be. When they start, people will sometimes tell you who you are and where you are and what you're supposed to be doing. They calling you Uncle Champ. Those children on social media call me Auntie Leslie. I know my nieces and nephews don't have a great appreciation for that. One of them have said it to me. I don't like it. But, you know,
I know.
When you look at, I start going through their pages and I start looking and reading and doing things, they don't have it.
They don't.
Their aunties too busy trying to be their friends.
Wow.
So, you know, they share. And we shared mother. You think I wanted everybody to call my mother mother?
Y'all did for years.
Yeah.
We shared my mother the whole, but mother had a ministry. And when I looked at the people that they were calling her mother, some of their mothers weren't a mother.
Yeah.
So you have to be who God has called you to be, Champ. That they're calling you Uncle Champ, then be that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Be that light.
Wow.
Be that light and be free. That's what I want y'all to be. If I could give you all anything, that is to be free from any and everybody that try to hold you down, that says that you can't do it or why you trying to do it. Because I can try. But don't come back to me if it don't work.
And won't.
I won't. Guess what?
Can't wait to go back to you.
Wow.
And maybe sometimes you need to get out there and fall and skin your knee. So the next time you find yourself rolling down that hill, you won't go head first. You'll go side first. At least you're going to learn. And then next time, the time after that, you'll know how to run on down there. You won't fall like Champ did.
You won't fall like Champ did.
The next time Champ run and he start falling, he's going to know, pull my upper body up. Don't ever take that upper body before your legs, because you're going to hit the ground every time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Y'all are small because you're limiting yourselves. You're letting people limit you.
But this podcast has helped me on today.
Yeah.
Cause I got some stuff.
Cause that ministry is wherever you go.
Yeah.
I literally just be trying to play the game, and then somebody will pull me into a party by themselves, and then they just start bust out crying, and then start telling me something like, "Well, Lord, God," and I have to minister to them. And most of them be like, I don't believe in God and all the other stuff. But in the back, my job is not to judge you or tell you finna go to hell or you finna do this. My job is to show you the God in me. No matter what, no matter how many times they say they don't believe in God, they're going to remember that conversation that me and them had.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because nobody else was listening to them.
Nobody else took the time out.
Nobody else took the time. And I'm here to tell you that you need to pray. You do need to pray, and you need to get a relationship with God. I'm not, and after you get the relationship, then He leads you. I feel like a lot of people jump into a church ministry without having the relationship, because you don't have the relationship to tell you which one you need to go to. Mm-hmm. Y'all just go to a church. You have a bad experience at that church when he ain't told you to go there in the first place, and you're like, I'm not going to church anymore. Did He tell you to go to that one? Did He say that will feed your spirit? Mm-hmm. Because a lot of people, she's the LGBT barbecue community. She wasn't that community. She was like, we just had a conversation during the game. We was like,
what's that barbecue?
Why does church? She was like, why does church like it's the same? I go over there, they preach the same thing over and over. I'm like, some pastors like to preach to the choir, and they don't focus on the people that are coming in. And she was like, yeah, that is something. And it was like, if I meant like knowing how the youth is now, if I was to preach a service, I would preach on how to get through anxiety, how to get through fear. He's not giving us a spirit of fear, because that's what is the main thing that is attacking these people now, is anxiety. And she was like, yeah, I would stay there and listen to that. So we had a conversation about that. She'll never forget that conversation.
Right.
Yep. Even if she stay in the LGBT barbecue community, and that's not my part. It's not my job to you're going to hell because you part. No.
It's not your job to judge. It's not our job to judge people. And when I say judge people, I mean tell them you're going to hell because you're not living like me, or you're going to hell. That's not my. The Lord told me I want you to love people where they are, the way I love you where you are.
My God.
Because I was saying earlier this week, I'm tired of people treating me. Some days they like me and some days they don't. Don't they know I can feel when they got an attitude with me and when they don't have an attitude with me, when they're okay with me, when they're not okay with me? I'm going to let them stay over there on the side of the road. Don't come to my face anymore. And after I said all of that, the Lord said, now that's not what I'm requiring of you. I'm requiring of you to love them continuously where they are.
Unconditionally.
You take your love, you take my love and you give it to them.
Wow.
And don't worry about how they treat you.
Wow.
And that was a lot for me, because I am a very loving and sensitive person. Mm-hmm. And because I'm loving and sensitive, and because I'm not, one of those prophets whose name is all over the whatever, or she can see, I see and I know. And what people don't realize is that I see and I know. And I'm looking at you. I see what you're thinking of me. I was attacked. When I say attacked, I was attacked in church once, and I heard the people talking about me in the conversation. And I went and told them what they said. And the girl said, ain't no way you heard that. Where were you? I said, I was at home. I said, but I heard you say this, what you said. And I gave her the little profane words that she said about me. I said, you called me this, this, this. I said, and you all ushered and all of y'all got together because y'all don't like one another, but y'all got together and y'all had a common enemy, which was me. And y'all came against me. And the Lord said, you still have to love them right where they are.
I ain't never wanted to fight a woman in my life until I'm not gonna say no names 'cause I don't even know the names. But I went to Florida with her. I went to Florida. And we were supposed to been we were setting up tea parties for something for the youth, and one of they knew that I came with Auntie Leslie, and this random woman started stuff with me, and I was like, listen. I'd rather be on the beach right now, but I'm here to help my auntie in this service. Stop. She was literally just like, whatever I did, why you doing this? Why you doing that? Well, that doesn't go there, ma'am. And that's part of ministry.
You gotta keep saying ma'am.
Yeah. I had to keep saying ma'am, and because I had to keep saying ma'am because if the B word came out in the church ministry, it would have been bad. So you got to be respectful as well. You got to be respectful. And I was just like, there's gonna be people that's gonna try to piss you off and make you uncomfortable in where you're supposed to be. Okay, because I knew what I was supposed to been doing. I just kept on putting the stuff up. Cause I was like, this is the table. She told me to put the stuff up, but she kept getting on my nerves. Which is just like, you just gotta block them out and not curse them out in the church building because it's not gonna end well, and it's gonna be bad.
Okay, so you said that. Please let me, for those that are gonna look like, oh my God, what is she talking about? Then Leslie is Kojic. Yes, I am. At one time, I was a chair lady for my jurisdiction, and we were having a regional rally. We're gonna break something down here. We were having a regional rally, and I wanted to. My regional chair lady asked me about doing the tea. I was setting up the tea for her and the little girls, and the thing about that is that I was new. I was a new chair lady, and it wasn't necessarily have to do with you. It had to do with what I was doing.
You know what you was doing.
And sometimes people are only in positions to get a greater position. And that particular person thought I was there trying to get a greater position when I was barely being the jurisdictional chair lady. Because, and I was working because they asked me to. And I told them when I said I would accept that, it was an honor. But I'm going to do this for a few years. But people sometimes fight you. It has nothing to do with you. She was trying to rattle you because she had a problem with me being there. But when
you're connected to greatness, huh?
You have to learn how to ignore people.
Right. That was one of the days that I learned. Ignore you.
I hate that you get a chance to meet some of the nicer people that were there.
I met some nicer people. I met some nicer people.
Did anyone have any closing remarks?
This has been good.
Yeah, this has been real good.
Anybody in the 50-year range, she's still single.
Blake.
I'm just playing.
Well, I just want to say I'm glad y'all didn't do the cursing that I've seen you all do on the other.
Wait a minute.
Let me finish.
I have not cursed.
Let me finish.
I have not
Let
cursed.
me finish. Can I finish?
Go ahead. No, I'm looking at DL.
I just want to say
that was your sister.
I was a little anxious about being on here because I was like, so why are we using these words? And I say, are they going to be profane and vulgar when I'm on there? Because my thing was, it's not the profanity that makes you relatable. That it's what the content of what you're talking about.
Right.
Is what gives you the impact. And when you have been raised to talk and to present God in a particular fashion, then you hold on to those standards regardless of what somebody else is saying. I made a covenant with the Lord. We can all curse if we want to.
It's
there for us.
I know how to do it now.
But it's a covenant. It's a relationship that I made with God that it says, and it comes, and I was like, Lord, I am not going to let hallelujah and those other words come out of the same mouth that I just praised you with, or that I'm going to need to pray and ask you to come through for me or somebody else. I don't want any hindrances there. Like when you got married. You're married now. You can cheat, but you made a covenant relationship and said, I'm not going to do it.
Right.
Right.
That's right.
No.
Now that was a Betty Pace nod to all of y'all.
Yeah.
And I'm talking to all of y'all. And the other ones that's not there.
It don't fit me. I mean, I can cook.
What DL?
I don't get nothing out of it.
Exactly.
Unless I'm upset and I want to make you. I need to make you understand now. I was just playing.
And that's my take on that.
I'm just making. Listen, DL tried to making it seem like I have cursed on this. I have not cursed on this. I said I didn't. You was like, Blake. That was your sister that came on here.
We're not calling any names. I'm just saying I was a little.
Period.
I went.
She just saying
because
period.
when y'all invited me to come, I said, let me go and see what's going on. And the first thing I saw was the fall. And I was like, oh, Jesus. But then when I saw, but I'm not saying, y'all can go and do what you want to do next week.
Did you see my episode?
Y'all can, yeah.
With the 6 and the all. Oh, okay.
Oh, Jesus.
But that's you all. You all.
Jesus.
That may be what the Lord is fine with that with you. You may be a Nazarite for 10 days. Mine is for life. And it can be that way. It really can be that way. Oh, did I do something wrong? No. Because that was the difference because when Samson became a Nazarite, he wasn't the only one. But his was just for life. And for most people, if you study, it's for 30 days or 60 days, or some of them is for 90 days. It just depends. And his was for life. When the rest of his friends were left out, was able to go on and do whatever they wanted to do, he wanted to do it. That was the biggest thing, trying to fit in with everybody else. But when God has called you to stand out, then go on and stand out. Stop trying to be like everybody else. Just stand out.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true.
Okay, well, I guess this is over.
Yeah,
it's good. This has been a great podcast.
This has really been good.
And y'all know how we close it every week. Now that's better.